Welcome back to New World Tank Mastery, where I, Ty James, your mother's favorite online video game tank, talk about all things New World tanking and all that good stuff. Today, because you guys keep asking about, hey, should I upgrade my gear right now? Is it worth it? You know, what's going to be happening? Because I know they're going to be releasing a patch and an update and all that good stuff. Okay, so on the 15th, we did get a small update, a small patch that nerfed Crescent Wave a little bit and things like that. But does that actually affect whether or not you should be chasing after your best in slot gear right now or not? So, to answer your question, should you be spending your resources to upgrade your gear? Yes and no. I know that's not, it's easy for me to say it. It's not as easy for you to hear it because you just want, Ty, just give me a definitive answer. Do I waste it, or is it a waste? Is it not a waste? I'm here to tell you it's a yes and no answer. So let me pull up kind of what the dev right here spoke about. In this New World, Joel had posted a couple issues relating to old perks on gear. So if you remember, I posted a video a few days ago about how to make a lot of money right now in New World as an armor smith by combining Enchanted Ward old perk with new Enchanted Ward charm, doubling up Enchanted Ward. So it's an unintended consequence of their new gearing system, and they are looking to patch it out, right? Now, that's not the news. I actually pinned inside the comments that, hey, just so you guys know, if you're a tank trying to purchase this gear, you know, maybe don't do it. But if you're an armor smith trying to make money while that patch is going, do it, right? So what does that mean for us tanks? Because I know a lot of you guys keep asking me to release my Season 10 best in slot tank build. And I have to wait though until this patch comes in and I see what is considered unintentional and what is intentional when it comes to how gear is supposed to be set up. So specifically, we're going to talk about Enchanted Ward real quick. If you are, and this is why it's a yes or no situation on if you should upgrade or not upgrade, okay? If you are intending on spending your resources, your umbral shards, skill charms, defensive slot charms, offensive slot charms, all that kind of stuff, which are super expensive right now on the trading post, if you plan on adding those resources to a piece of gear that has an old perk and the same perk as a new perk combined. So you have Enchanted Ward as a base perk, and then Enchanted Ward 2, which is a charm perk, double stacking Enchanted Ward. I would not spend my resources upgrading that, my umbral shards upgrading that, because when they release this patch, which I believe they're probably going to do it this upcoming Tuesday, they're going to reset that piece of gear. And it's going to more than likely remove one of those perks and reset it with a either defensive perk slot for charms or maybe a skill charm, something. They're just going to reset that item. So if you spent all that gold trying to get that thing best in slot and all those umbral crystals to 800 and they reset it, there's no way to get that stuff refunded. You can message the devs and be like, hey, what the heck, dude? Like, I upgraded this stuff. I spent 900 umbral shards. I spent like 30,000 gold on charms to get this thing the way I want it. You guys reset it. I want that money back. I want that gold back. I want those umbral shards back. And they're going to say, tough cookie is what it is, right? So you're running the risk of losing out on those resources if you're upgrading that piece of gear with those unintentional charms and perks. Now, if, for example, I think I'm in a PvP set, but I can still show you why you can still upgrade, okay? So right now I'm in my PvP Boltcaster setup. Basically, it's like a DPS lightning, just shit ton of lightning, increased lightning damage, and lightning attunement, and all that stuff, right? So I upgraded these pieces of gear because none of the perks on it are double perks. Okay, so let's take a look at this ring that I just so happened to like, I don't know, it was a catacomb drop Let me see if you guys can see. Make sure. Yeah. Okay. So, for example, this dropped in the Catacombs in one of the loot caches. Gave me thrust damage, lightning damage, leeching cyclone, lightning harnessing, and rogue. I mean, I don't know. That's probably the best ring I could think of for this specific build. So when it came out, it was like a 740, I think, gear score or whatever. So needless to say, I added the lightning harnessing into it. Everything else, it came the way it was. So I spent the money on getting a lightning harnessing charm. I put it in, and then I upgraded it to 800 with my umbral shards. Or crystals, shards. The shards. Maybe they are crystals. I don't remember. The umbrals. Right? So, is this type of an example worth upgrading and putting your resources? Yes, because when they do the patch, this particular type of item has no illegal perk combos and has no double perk combos, causing it for them to think, hey, that's an item that could be potentially reset. Now, for example, if I had a piece of Enchanted Ward gear and Enchanted Ward 2 charm slot where it's double Enchanted Ward, might not be worth it because that's more than likely going to be reset in the upcoming patch. Okay, so that's why it's a yes or no on whether you should be spending your time upgrading. But if it was me, and this is how I'm approaching this situation right now. So I'm in the process of developing what I think is going to be our best in slot tank builds, and I've got a few different builds that I'm kind of playing with, right? Because of that, I'm not going to start upgrading those pieces of gear and really, I guess, putting my gold, my charms, and all those things into those pieces of gear until Tuesday. Because once Tuesday happens and that patch releases where they go and they reset the certain items, then I know for sure that the item I have that I'm looking to put into my best in slot gear isn't going to be affected, and those resources aren't going to be wasted. Okay. So for now, for you tanks that have been asking, okay, what's best in slot? I can tell you what's best intermediate to get you through the Isle of Night raid, to get you through the M3s and things like that. If you go back to my original tank build, right, and I talked about the entry level to intermediate to best in slot back in season 9, take that best in slot gear. So for example, hoplite, anything with Enchanted Ward base perk, and say, like, we'll just look at, what's this right here? Okay, so this is Enchanted Ward, strike conditioning, health, has a gem slot, and then wellness. This would be great for intermediate to get you into the end game content. Use your umbral crystals to upgrade that to, say, 775, 780, 800 even, if you have enough umbrals to get your gear up there. Upgrade those things to 800 and then tank the M3s, get those 4 or 5 combo perk items that drop from M3s. You can tank Isle of Night with it. And all the end game, like Catacombs is, honestly, guys, you could tank Catacombs with like a 720 gear score. Like Catacombs is actually very, very easy. So if you want to farm the Catacombs system to get better intermediate gear than what you have, by all means do that. But if you already have, for example, like a best in slot set up from season 9, feel free to upgrade those items to 800 in the meantime, because that's going to get you into the new content. And then as pieces start dropping, so for example, I don't know if I have it on me here. Okay, we'll take a look at this. So this was a helm that dropped from, I think it was a Catacomb box, maybe. I'm not sure. Okay, so if we look, this comes with a gem slot and defensive slots. Plus, it already has conditioning, shock conditioning. This would be considered a really good item to hold on to. Here's why. It has a gem slot and then an empty defense slot. What am I going to put in that empty defense slot? Enchanted Ward 2. I'm going to put Enchanted Ward into this item, right? Then I'm going to have lightning damage absorption, abyssal damage absorption, and Enchanted Ward. I still have a gem slot, and then I have an extra another extra slot. Let's take a look at the charms. Okay, let me move my over here right quick. There you go. All right, so I have an offensive, defensive, gem, right? Gem is probably going to be your most important thing you're looking for in any of these types of gear, whether it's weapon or armor. Look for gem slots. So like this one doesn't have a gem slot. So yeah, it's got a skill slot. It's got a defense or 2 defense slot. It's got conditioning. Cool, but it doesn't have a gem slot. Okay. For a best in slot tank, this is what I recommend right now. As if you're trying to like, what gear should I hold on to? What gear should I not? Any heavy armor pieces that are dropping for you that have a gem slot, have defensive or offensive, doesn't matter, preferably defensive charm slots though, and then a couple good base perks, Enchanted Ward or Absorption. Okay, Absorption is going to be key because they nerfed how much the gems will reduce your damage. So let's look at this physical ward. So it only gives you a 2% physical damage absorption. If we look at the nature one, it only gives you 4%. That used to be 6%. So because they nerfed it, you're going to want to put in gems or have a gem slot and then have some sort of absorption. So if we look at Abyssal Conditioning, that's going to give me 4.3% void damage. Say I'm going up against a boss or some sort of content that has void, then I want to equip this, right? Some sort of conditioning, and then put in a gem that also does void conditioning or absorption, right? That way I can get pretty close to the same type of resistances that I had prior to the nerf. Okay, so I hope that helps you guys. I just wanted to let you know, like I said, I'd hate for you guys for me to release what I think is going to be the season 10 best in slot build. And then you guys work towards getting it and say those pieces of items have an illegal perk combo. And then all of a sudden on Tuesday, all that work, all those resources you put into go to shit, right? Because all of a sudden you're coming to me like, hey, I built that and now it's reset and I lost all my resources. Now what do I do? So instead, let's wait until after Tuesday. We'll see exactly what the unintended and intended perks are. Once that's done, then let's get into our theory crafting. And I have a pretty good idea of what I'm going to end up putting together for you guys. And I think you guys are going to like it. So like I said, let's wait till this patch comes out and we know exactly what's going on. Don't waste your resources yet, unless you have an item that is not considered an unintended perk combo, which would be an old perk and new perk combined together. Okay, I hope that helps. Oh, also, I wanted to address this. In that post, they also talked about weapons that might have 3 different types of attunements. So say it has shock attunement, it has frost attunement, and fire attunement, right? So that means you have 3 extra offensive percentages of extra damage based on those, those types of damage types in one weapon. As of right now, a lot of people are using that as their best in slot because it's like 33% additional damage in different forms, right? Amazing. But they did say that they're going to try to figure out a system where it doesn't take away those 3 attunements, but it gives you diminishing returns. Like, the first one will have the full, say, 14% weapon damage. The second one might have, say 9%. The third one might actually only give you 5%. So you're not getting 14 times 3 or 11 times 3. You're only getting like maybe a 14, a 9, and like a 6, right? So you're only getting like a 29%. So just keep that in mind if you are upgrading that weapon. From now until Tuesday, for sure, that's going to be your best in slot for damage. For any kind of weapon that doesn't have a super fast attacks, because those attunements are 1.5% cooldown. Okay? So that's all I got for right now. Build is coming. I know you guys keep asking. Build is coming. I'm going to show you guys a video on how to tank the new raid once I've kind of got all the ins and outs tweaked out. Because right now, the videos I have of it, let's face it, our group wiped several times, and we're still kind of playing with what's going to be the best tactic to do it. And then I still have some M3s going to be uploading for you guys soon. I will show you guys some Catacombs, some tanking in that. But like I said, Catacombs honestly is super easy. I've been doing it as DPS, tanking as a DPS. So, I mean, if you have a healer, you can actually do 2 DPS and a healer and get through Catacombs just fine. I found the most successful run I've had so far was actually 2 DPS and 1 healer. And I had another one where I was just tank and I had 2 DPS, no healer, and also went super smooth. So I think farming that system is actually fairly easy. So I will show you guys if you wanted to tank it. It's no big deal, guys. I will show you guys how to do that in a video coming up soon. Okay. Thanks for all the love you guys have done on the videos. If you found any value out of today's update, go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Join the tank squad of tanker meatheads, whatever. Anyways, Discord's in the description below. Much love to you guys. Say hi to your mom for me, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care.